Night fell, and the banquet with the emissary began. Gorgeous dishes were lined up in the center of the room. The emissary, who was already seated, sat up and greeted us when we entered the room. Well, a formality at least. I say that because his eyes were colored with a strong degree of contempt. He looked me down from head to toe, making no effort to conceal it. This guy. The only resemblance is their shining blonde hair. Everything else is worlds apart. Internally, I glared back and cursed at him. Alright, well, doesn't think much of the brother-in-law, and as well she should not. Nohl is not the kind of foolish person who would speak his true feelings during work. Cades? Is that how you say it? Or Cades? Probably Cades.
It has been a long time, His Highness Cades. Thank you for making the long journey out here.
Nohl's body, moving naturally, blocks off the minister's unabashed gaze. A moment later, I realized that I may have been protected.
You don't have to be so formal here. Aren't we brothers who grew up in the same palace?
He speaks in friendly tones. Maybe it's because I feel vanity from him that it makes me feel sick. Cades laughed colorfully, then raised the corners of his mouth and fanned his face with his hands. I think he's acting sarcastically.
My, this country sure is hot.
Perhaps compared to His Highness's country.
Yes, it's quite hot. And there is a strange disease running rampant here. I see, for you and your strong sense of perseverance, this country suits you well.
I'm not just imagining it. That was very clearly sarcasm. I had been feeling uncomfortable since I met him, but I never thought he'd make a mental attack before we were even seated. He's supposed to be here for work, but I wonder if he's forgotten his place as an emissary. Well, if Nohl can be believed, his brothers weren't the smartest. Next to me, amazed and unable to speak, Nohl smiles coolly.
I'm honored that you think that this country suits me. His Highness is still good at complimenting people.
You don't have to call me His Highness. You can call me your brother, as you used to.
Here in Nasla, I am the political assistant, so it would be rude to refer to His Highness as my brother.
He's essentially saying, this is work, so you should assume a proper attitude? The emissary Cades snorts disinterested.
Well then, I shall talk as an emissary, not as your older brother.
It's quite ridiculous that someone can have such a high and mighty attitude just because they were born first. I can endure it because the work partner here is Nohl's brother, but I really want to make a retort. I just really want to... Just give me a few seconds, I just want to talk. I try to make a cheerful smile and greet him properly. It is a pleasure to meet you, His Highness. I am Nohl's wife.
Ah, Mrs. Naala, wasn't it? Hearing from my brother's letter that he'd gotten married was quite the surprise. You really are lovely. Your short hair is a good match for my younger brother.
I know what he's saying there. Can this guy talk without ridiculing someone? I suppressed the anger rising in my stomach with a smile. I would have punched him if he weren't the emissary. Yeah, girl. It was my decision to cut my hair, so I don't mind being insulted. However, it was unbearable to have Nohl included in that ridicule.
Honestly, I didn't really want to come here.
Ah, is that so?
Yes, I was frightened that I might be buried in a sea of overflowing women's corpses.
We are currently in the process of developing a cure. Such prejudices will be dispelled in the future.
So you continue to believe in such unobtainable dreams.
Is this person really Nohl's brother? I doubt he came here to actually negotiate. I don't think this is the case, but he's looking down on him because he's fooled him before? Anyway, this is not a negotiation. It's just one-sided ridicule.
Actually, I came here to see for myself if the land of Nasla truly is safe. Nasla is a habitat for the red flowers that cause the rot. If the result of sending women here was that they all died, well, that would become an international problem.
I have to say that the red flower is not the phenomenon. Then what is? I shall avoid details, as we are still currently researching things. But it has been reported that those who live along the Seg River, where those red flowers grow naturally, have an extremely low probability of getting the rot.
Interesting. Not exactly a cure or a protectant, but it's kind of a preventative in a way. The chances are low. Very interesting. I knew it had something to do with those flowers.
The day when the unobtainable can be obtained is coming soon.
It all started when I got a lot of information from Toya and realized something. And when I made a suggestion, it seems the results were better than expected. This too couldn't have been done without being near Nohl. As I was happy thinking of the results of my efforts, Kades laughed in ridicule.
Well, I shall be looking forward to that day. If that happens, my country may be able to recruit female immigrants.
Naala, did you hear that just now? His Highness is quite kind.
I read Nohl's intentions from the smile he directed at me. I nodded deeply and spoke happily. I'm grateful for His Highness's kindness. I feel truly happy at these words just now. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. And we won't let him take it back. With my smile and pressure, Kades, who had been speaking constantly up to now, fell silent. He drank the liquor left in his cup and brought his slightly red face closer to Nohl. The smell of alcohol drifted over the table, and I almost frowned.
By the way, can I speak here as your older brother?
Please.
Did we lose contact with you because of your dissatisfaction with being able to participate in politics?
Do not be absurd. I had lost my memories.
But I have heard that you have been quite active here.
It's not due to my sole efforts. Every day is quite fulfilling thanks to the kindness of His Majesty the King.
Even so, you've done well for yourself. To think that my little brother has found such success. Well, I guess you never know what wonders the world has in store. But you're not quite as cute as you used to be.
I wasn't cute then, either.
No, you were quite comical. Ah, shall I say cute, as you desperately trained, even without reward?
I am who I am today due to my continued training, even if it was humorous. In that sense, nothing has changed.
I see. But you see, I was worried if things would be okay with you being entrusted with the crucial job of political assistant. You've never been good at reading people's facial expressions. If it's you making the negotiations, won't the other parties just break their promises?
Things are proceeding well for now.
Is that so? Perhaps you just aren't aware of it. The promises I might make today could also end up being broken. Don't worry, I'm only joking.
Maybe he wanted to remind Nohl of his unpleasant memories in the past. Yeah, I'd say this brother was jealous of Nohl, and he can suck an egg. I was the one who felt sick at his words, which didn't even conceal his mockery. What's with this guy? I just want to punch him in his continually smiling face. I love how protective she is of Nohl now. She's like, I just want to, just let me get one good shot in. Just one. He's bringing personal feelings into negotiations and ridiculing Nohl's past. Is this guy really in charge of national affairs? Maybe he's jealous of how active Nohl is. Bingo! Maybe he's worked up feeling like he lost despite being the older brother. I had that feeling, at least. I'm with you there, girl. If he says something again, I'll return his venom in kind. I could feel boiling anger spilling from my throat. However, before I could speak, I was suddenly drawn in by my shoulders. Hello? I think you're a calming presence in Nohl's life. Where's this beautiful, soft, romantic light coming from, though?
Yes, of course that is a joke. I believe you. I've gained my strength from my beloved wife.
I knew it! I knew it! Oh, this is everything I ever wanted! Normally, he'd be fighting back with his preferred sarcasm. However, there were no clouds in his smile, not even malice. Only his strong will to move forward could be seen. He's completely shaken off the past. He can speak honestly about trust even in front of his hateful brother. Was it really my existence, as he said, that healed Nohl's heart this much? My goodness. I'm so happy. All the way he looks at her knee. Despite being in the middle of the banquet, I grinned. Nohl stroked me with his fingertips, lovingly.
My cute princess always pushes me forward.
His eyes were serene and warm, like a clear sky. When he turned my way, despite being used to it, my cheeks felt hot. Nohl. Nohl hugged my shoulders and showed Kades a big smile.
Thanks to you, I can be with my wife now. I found happiness. I cannot thank you enough, including your opposition.
Damn, it's like, you know what? I should really thank you for being a dick in the past, because I wouldn't have met my wife. How you like them apples?
Ah, perhaps that was your intention from the start. My apologies, I was too foolish to realize that.
Perhaps Nohl's revenge worked so well that Kades was stunned for a few moments. After regaining his senses, his expression changed to one of regret, and the banquet ended without him looking directly at us. Yeah, limp out of here! It was the sorrowful face of a loser! This isn't quite what Kade said, but you really don't know what will happen in the world. Did he finally start to feel like a real older brother? Or was he feeling guilty? Or was he just disappointed to leave in defeat? It was just a few weeks later that the pact was received from Nohl's hometown on the condition of completion of the cure. I think that's reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. Where are we now? On the wall? The stars are beautiful today. You have even seen? Oh, you can even see. You can even see small stars that you can't usually see. Holding the pact that just arrived, the two of us went to the rooftop. Looking up at the sky, it was a perfect starry sky that celebrated our achievements.
It's frightening to think about how far it might extend.
That doesn't sound like you.
Given the amount of blood that was spilled, I didn't think this would be an easy goal to achieve.
It definitely wasn't easy, and it was only thanks to your efforts that we were able to get these results. But, yeah, this is definitely like some kind of miracle. It took a lot of blood to get here, from both war and the rot. It wasn't just the two of us who obtained this result. The tears, lives, and efforts of many people. I believe we confronted the problems together. I wonder if the souls in the moon are pleased to see this. It's believed that the souls of the dead head to the moon. If that's true, they should be happy with these results. I would be happy if they were.
That's just superstition.
You have no dreams. I puffed my face out as the fleeting sentiment was cut off. Nohl smiled and looked up at the starry sky as I did earlier.
But if the person most important to me dies, I might look up at the moon like this.
Like Toya?
You ask despite already knowing?
Even being glared at by this beautiful face, it doesn't scare me like it used to. I've become familiar with Nohl's sulking way of saying things, and even finding it cute. We hold hands naturally, and look at the stars from the same angle. The entwined fingers occasionally stroke the back of my hand, which is a little ticklish. After feeling the warmth of each other's hands for a little while, I hear a voice fall down from diagonally above.
What are you going to do?
What do you mean?
The cure will be completed soon. If the alliance is officially formed, then the women who were kidnapped from Roos will be able to return home. Which includes you as well.
I take a moment to find the words. I open my mouth, not daring to look at Nohl's expression next to me. Dang, that's true love right there. Willing to let her go. If I said I wanted to go home, would you divorce me? The silence worries me because he hasn't said I love you yet. What's with these boys not being able to say I love you? No matter how much you love it, you'll eventually get bored with a toy. Fear shook my fingertips.
Yes, that would be fine.
Even getting such an answer doesn't really rattle me all that much. But it's still very sad. Right. I smile bitterly at my discouraged self. I hated him so much at first, but now I'm lamenting being discarded by him. My body, which had been held every night, would be sad to remember Nohl's heat upon becoming alone. My heart would never forget Nohl's sweet whispers and would continue to cry out. I was sad to the point of pain, being keenly aware of how my feelings had changed. I looked down without hiding my disappointment and felt that Nohl was facing me. He pulled me a little, having me face him. With the brilliance of the stars reflected in them, Nohl's eyes looked more beautiful than usual.
Would you like to make a bet?
A bet? I blinked at the words that reminded me of our first night together.
Yes. If you win, then I shall grant you a divorce.
What are the conditions?
You must take a certain something away from me. Just that one thing, and you can return home.
Nohl's well-organized face approaches as he looks at me up close. Hurried by my fast heartbeat, I asked in a slightly quivering voice. What is it?
From me?
Yes. So many beautiful kisses. And Nohl's like, look at this. Look at the glitter and the stars and the oh man, these two. Ugh, my heart. While speaking, Nohl kissed me. I felt his voice and breath blown directly into me, passing through my lungs, circulating through my blood, and piercing my heart. Damn. It slowly melted and numbed me.
Try to take away my love for you from me. If you do that, then you may return home.
Well, Nohl, you're a pretty stubborn guy, so it'll be very difficult to get you to change your mind. Taking something away from you, that might take a lifetime.
Well, do your best anyway. Since you hate giving up, I'm sure you'll win eventually.
Well, I'll do my best. We kiss each other playfully, devouring each other's warmth. The breath, voice, heat, everything. I felt like I could cry, which was a bother. My brain was being ravished by lovely, beautiful, sweet poison. A game that lasts a lifetime. Sounds fun. A bargain that lasts a lifetime. Perhaps it won't end even if we do go to the moon. You goobers. Why can't you just say you love each other? Why is that? I mean, Nohl did actually say it at the end. He didn't say, I love you, but he did say, you have to take my love for you away from me, and then I shall divorce you. That was a great little bookend. Started with a bet, ends with a bet. One that I don't think Naala's going to be in any kind of hurry to win. Man, I am so positively delighted by how this route played out. I was so worried when it began. I'm like, dang, this guy gives me intense vibes, and I'm probably still gonna get into that with the bad endings. I'm not going to pretend the bad endings are gonna be soft and gooey and stuff. I'm expecting some danger in those bad endings. But gosh darn if it wasn't satisfying the entire way through this route. This is everything I wanted from an enemies to lovers. Then butting heads, slowly gaining respect for each other, then getting very playful and romantic with each other. It got super spicy. Sheesh. There was so much good about this. I also just love the change in hand placement with her over time as well. It went from very possessive around the neck and the face and stuff to gently cupping her face at the very end. Just so much good satisfaction. Easy number one. This is just far and away the best out of all the routes so far. Probably gonna now get some mess up bad endings to change my mind, but you know what? Until then, I'm sticking to my guns. Alright, give me that epilogue. What's happening? A few years later. Today is another peaceful, boring day. It's been a while since we obtained the unobtainable. Alright, the cure has been found. With the threat of the rot gone, the relationship between Roos and Nasla, which had been one of conflict, is gradually improving. I wonder how Shalu is doing. Yeah, Shalu was a non-existent factor. So was Solana, sadly, but we didn't even have to worry about Shalu. The kidnapped women who wished to return home did so, including Shalu. Hey, Shalu lived! Nice. After that, Toya. The Nasla king himself went and bowed his head in apology, and public opinion in Roos is changing. It will still take some time, but peace can be reached in the near future. That's no good. This is no time to be slacking off. So how do you read this word? With an increasing number of female immigrants from abroad, Nasla is regaining its vibrancy from before the rot. However, the increase in people brings new problems with it. Right now, I'm advising the female immigrants on their worries. The problem is that I don't speak any foreign languages. When I don't have an interpreter, I do my best using gestures, but there's a limit to that. Geez, I've got to understand this before the teacher arrives. I asked Nohl to assign a foreign language teacher to me, but I'm not that clever, so the lessons don't really stick. Thinking about that, I think it's really amazing that Nohl was able to get used to Nasla so quickly. I won't get anything done if I sit around being amazed. I regained myself and picked up the textbook. Following the teacher's advice that speaking out loud helps to memorize things, I spoke the written foreign language. What are you saying to me?
Via ruve tireta vi rume ti suvete.
Huh? What?
I calcus ecto vi eximira.
You're mean. I glared at my husband, Nohl, who had returned home from work. It's probably the language I'm studying right now, but he spoke it too fluently for me to understand. As I puffed out my cheeks, Nohl shrugged and laughed. Nohl, how many languages can you speak?
Not that many. 10 at most.
You being sarcastic?
It's bullying out of love.
I'm just an ordinary person.
Come here.
I was beckoned by Nohl, who was sitting on the bed. As I was drawn closer with his gentle smile, he quickly took my hand and my hips fell between his knees. Aw, he's gonna help her. Isn't that sweet? Actually, I just realized it's a few years later. Either her hair did not grow, or she decided to keep it short. Either way, I kind of hope she decided to keep it short, and Nohl's like, yeah, girl, keep it short. Ah!
If you neglect me this much, I'll become mischievous.
Huh?
What I spoke before. Do you want to know what I said?
The first thing you said?
Well then, it's time to study.
Speaking bluntly, he took the textbook out of my hands. He then spread it out on my lap and traced the letters with his fingertips. He read aloud the translation of the traced characters. My dear princess, it's about time for me to express your love, isn't it? Just how long do you intend to keep hitting on me? Ah! His words are too sweet and dizzying. I press the back of my head into Nohl's chest to hide my embarrassment.
Until you can only see me.
You don't think I feel that way now?
The husband becomes sad when the wife is so serious and hard-working. This textbook is my enemy now.
I laugh while striking him with my toes. There's no inclination of Nohl's strong desire to possess me weakening, and lately he doesn't even bother to hide his jealousy. It feels like he's become even more defiant. That being said, if I don't lighten your burden as much as I can, there's no telling what incidents will occur when you're not looking. As I learned from rumors, it seems that some young soldiers disappeared on the night of the banquet. I was wondering what happened with that. I'm like, weeds were pulled, but like, what happened? As they were people who were dissatisfied with the king's politics, for a while there was quite a bit of a stir. I wonder if we hadn't agreed to go to the banquet, that may not have come to light and something bad may have happened. Maybe that's a bad ending. If all of the king's enemies disappear, it's only natural that suspicions will be raised. In the shadows, there were whispers that it was the work of the political assistant, and I felt a little ashamed. It is unfortunate that I can't deny it. Nohl would never say anything. No matter how many times I ask, he says he asked Esta to take care of some weeds in the garden. Then I have to support the regal authority so that he doesn't have to do that anymore. Maybe my husband is as scary as I originally thought. He really doesn't care about anyone other than those he thinks he owns. His reason for assisting the king is to test out his own abilities, and because Toya was his student, not because he's being kind. I've learned plenty of things like this in the last few years. Fundamentally, his love for things outside of his scope of interest is extremely low. That's why he can easily ask for weeds to be cut down. Maybe I'm interested because of that reaction. In other words, the extraordinary degree that he loves the things he thinks are his own. Honestly, I fell in love with quite the troublesome guy.
What man are you thinking about this time?
Don't talk about your wife like she's prone to having affairs.
You're here in my arms, but you seem to be distant.
I don't think there's ever been a woman who is as preoccupied with you than I.
That's like saying you're so mad about me that it makes you silly.
It's not like at all. That's exactly the case.
Because my caresses are so skillful.
Why did you go there? Well, I can't deny that.
You can't?
Yeah, I can't. When I say this, Nohl always closes my mouth. Nohl becomes anxious as he's still worried that he hasn't completely captured my heart. Not just my body, but my heart has been drowning for him for quite some time. Geez, what a husband who is completely insensitive to a woman's feelings. But knowing that, I still say what I do. I'm pretty wicked. Because if I say that, then... Dang, she's got him wrapped around her finger. Like, if I can get him jealous, then I can get some nookie later. Wow, she is wicked. Naala, behave.
In that case, I shall give you more pleasure so that you will not be able to look elsewhere.
His enticing voice caressed my eardrums. While trembling at the overflowing seductiveness, I was excited with anticipation.
I love you, my cute princess.
Every night, we fall into a sweet stupor. As usual, there is no end to our bet. And we wouldn't have it any other way. Result of the bet. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. She picked up a little bit of Nohl's evilness there, didn't she? That was great. Yes, he's a dangerous guy. Yes, his love isn't completely pure. Yes, but I loved it. Who doesn't like a little bit of danger? It makes it more interesting. Guys, I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed Nohl's route. I'm looking forward to his epilogue, so hopefully I will see you for that. We already had like a few years jump, so I wonder what the next jump will be, where we'll pick up with them. And what will happen. Probably some more shenanigans. Hopefully I will see you there for that. Thanks again for joining me. Until next time, I will see you later.